All right, Chris says she's trying.
Okay, and I'm doing better here. I'm closer to the,
Okay.
I'm up in the laundry room.
Laundry.
That's where the router is.
You started the YouTube, Howard?
Yes, it's spinning, but it's good. It looks like it's gonna come up here in a minute.
It's telling me that it's streaming live now.
Says on my screen, it says live on streaming.
Yes. And it just came through to my email, so it looks like it's working.
I didn't get anything, but I'm just testing here.
Okay, we're live on YouTube now, guys. So
Okay, so Danielle, where are you?
Just 1 second, sorry. Chris says her mic is good, but she's waiting to join. Howard, would you
yes, yep, I'm going to admit her.
see if you can get her back in?
I just did.
Okay.
Now I'm going to start the recording here. Right now.
Where is she?
Okay, Danielle, would you like to start, please?
I can, sure. Okay, so the meeting tonight is a workshop meeting of the town board of the town of Marlborough. It's a Zoom meeting due to the coronavirus pandemic.
Thank you very much, Danielle. I'd like to start the meeting off with a pledge of allegiance. Who has
We
the
have a
flag?
couple of
There's,
flags here.
I guess we could stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag
United States of America,
and to the
Republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
We could sit, just like to do a moment of reflection, especially for our military, especially those on the front line with the COVID-19, for our first responders, our nurses, our doctors in the hospital and the front lines, our police department, all involved with this very trying times. My hat's off to them, and sure that the board's hats are off to them too. And our thanks and gratitude go out to them for being on the front lines, and we really appreciate it during these times, troubled times. So that being said, just a moment of reflection in consideration to all those people, especially the volunteers that are delivering mails and our political people and working hard to in this what you got there, Chief?
Just showing you that it's on YouTube perfectly. Sorry.
Okay, thank you, Chief. So just keep in mind all the people on the front lines doing their job and helping us be safe. So with that, I'd like to also make sure that we're aware that we have the two public hearings tonight. We've been over these two laws, resolutions that we put into, we haven't adopted yet, but basically what we're waiting for is the county to come back with their opinion about those laws. We missed the deadline last month, so we had to wait another month. They meet on the first Wednesday of the month, so hopefully by the next meeting we'll have their comments, and so then we can move forward with the adoption of those two laws and the adoption of the LWRP. So with that said, is there anybody on Zoom that has any questions about those two laws? Those two for the public hearing? I know I sent James Garofalo you sent him the link, right, Howard?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay. So we can move right on.
Guys.
Whoa, what happened? Oh,
The agenda.
there we
I'm
go.
sharing the agenda.
Okay.
Jerry, can you tell if anybody's watching on YouTube?
There's two people on YouTube.
That's great.
Me and somebody else.
Probably you
Oh,
and Howard.
There's three now.
Okay, so moving along here, so a motion to approve the agenda? I need a motion to approve the agenda, gentlemen.
Motion.
I second.
Second, all in
second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Minutes to approve, motion to approve minutes from the April 13, 2020 Town Board meeting. I need a motion.
I motion that.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None said. Motion moved. Authorized payments of, payment of bills, $183,388.28. I need a motion to, pay the bills, gentlemen.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None being said, motion carried. Today we have a presentation from, BJ.
Yes, right here.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody.
Look like a
Maybe,
butter.
can we take the agenda down and so we could see, BJ and it's,
Oh,
I don't know what looks best.
okay. So,
stop.
there you go.
There we are.
Is that better?
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Sure. Mhm.
It's all yours, BJ.
As some of you might be aware, Meet Me Marlborough sent a letter out by snail mail as well as email to all members, and explaining to them how much Meet Me Marlborough is concerned about the situation that we are all in. Not only that, but we also attached, as you can see here, a questionnaire for all members to fill out. We're following that up with telephone calls to all members as well. The bottom line here is, of course, to see what can Meet Me Marlborough as an organization do for the members. There can be many things we can do, obviously, but let us see what each member, what they need the most. They might need more exposure. They might need information about their opening hours. If it's a restaurant, do they make meals every day? How many days a week, etc. The farmers, what produce do they have in stock? And these are just examples. Also, some stores might start to open, or if they intend to open, when will their opening hours be, et cetera, et cetera. So this has gone out over the past week or so. The telephone calls have not yet been completed, but this is an interesting project and certainly something that we hope that the members will appreciate, because we will put all of this information on the website. So anybody, and not only website, of course, Facebook and everywhere else where we are. So anybody that has an interest in this has all the information right on the website. I just got off another Zoom meeting with the grant committee and the board members. We are looking at, as I have mentioned to you before, and when we all met at the town hall, the electronic sign, which is of great interest for everybody, obviously. And so we are working on getting a grant that is due sometime in July, getting all our numbers and everything lined up for that, for not only the sign, but also the website and maybe another couple of projects that we are working on. So by the time the summer, July, August comes around, we should have a much better idea about this. It also, let's see what else I had from that meeting. Well, we talked obviously about the pier, and we are very happy to see that July 1st, apparently the work is going to start on the pier. And I had a talk with the president of one of the two river cruise lines, one in Rhode Island. And she is quite interested next month to come up here and to actually go on site to see this project. this, the pier and what we're gonna do there. She is carrying about 1,500 passengers up and down the Hudson River every season. And she's quite interested in stopping in here. And as I had mentioned previously, she has a tour operator in West Point. She works with, and she will be coming together with that tour operator also. So they can look at the space, especially the space on the pier itself for the motor coach to go across the track and be able to turn around in front of the boat as they come in. 86 passengers is the number. Every boat has 86 passengers. So 2 motor coaches, maybe 3 is what we're talking about. So this is quite exciting. Granted, we're hoping for that to start next year, but let's see. That's at least it's in progress. And the other cruise line is located in Connecticut. We are that fortunate. It's not a California outfit or anything, so we should be able to get those people in here as well, also next month. So just a second, please. Another thing that has come up from a marketing standpoint, we find this to be, hang on a sec, you can read this, right? The passport.
Mhm.
This is an idea we picked up from the wine trail. What this is what it says, passport, where you, as you go from merchant to merchant around Milton and Marlborough, would get a stamp in your passport. And which proves that not only have you been there, but you don't get a stamp unless you buy something. So when this book, we will sell it for about $50. And when this book is completely full, you can turn it in for credit towards a new passport. Now, you might say, well, how are the folks coming into this area going to get this? Well, they're getting it online, but it also applies to you and I, everybody that lives in the area. And there's really no better way to prove to the world what we do and what people, where people go, what money they spend, et cetera, by using, other than by using this little gimmick. So this came up from the printer in New Jersey. I'm going through it with him to see the cost, not only of designing and printing, but also distribution of it. And this will be a major feature on our website that we, of course, continue to work on. These are the highlights of what's going on within Meet Me Marlborough right now. We are also have a little bit of a problem, like we had expected, obviously, is membership fees. Because we are in the situation that we are in, we have actually told many members, forget this year, you're off the hook. We will work for you. We will prove to you that many things we can do for you to, for you not to have to come up with a membership fee for this year. We can range this anywhere from $310 and down to $50 a year. For a lot of people, that doesn't seem to be a lot of money for an annual fee. But on the other hand, if you suddenly have to close your shop, as you well know, that is just reaching out and trying to see if that would help people out. Some members have already paid, and we have simply said to them that covers next year. So lots of activity within Meet Me Marlborough, and please spread the word. See if anybody else. We need volunteers like we do in any volunteer organization. So if you know anybody that would be interested in getting on board, this is not even as much time as you put into being on the board of the town. This is less time, but it's interesting. I know you can't put much more time. Anyway, so yeah, so if you know of anybody, do let us know. That is pretty much what I have from this end.
Anybody have any questions for BJ?
BJ, I guess, is Rosemary helping you with that grant?
Rosemary.
Yeah. I just think that the electronic sign is something that the town board is certainly in favor of, and I know it's an expensive item, so that's one thing. And then the tour boats, that's all very, very good news and site.
But the electronic sign, we are looking at signs in the neighborhood, the one down at the fire station in Middle Hope. And the other one is the Marlborough Library.
Yep.
And later on this week, I'll be out taking pictures and we will be getting a third proposal, real proposals. All we have now is sort of telephone calls and stuff. So we're going to send it out to get some real proposals and see how much it's going to cost. And we, of course, also discussed location and the town's financial involvement in it, possibly, if we cannot get enough money from the grant. But it could easily run up to $30,000. Because the sign that the Middle Hope Fire Department is ideally what we want. The one that the library has is too small. But then we also talk about solar panels, we talk about electricity to be gotten from somewhere around where the sign is right now for the park. And actually, I could bring this up also. Maybe this would be an opportunity for the sign for the park to be illuminated, being that we would have electricity right in that area. And that might be a nice thing for people driving through this town all the time, to have that sign illuminated, because at night, nobody will know anything about that sign. So it's just could be an advantage right there by having electricity installed.
Hey, BJ, you said about the cruise companies, they want to go down and look to see where the buses can turn around on. You didn't say the river side of the tracks, did you?
I was thinking the same thing, Alan.
Well,
Okay.
your
No
question
design.
is whether I mean, they would have to cross, the buses would have to cross the train track.
No,
Are you
you
saying
can't do
no to
that.
that?
You can't do that.
There's not gonna
Cannot do
be,
that?
No, you can't do that.
there's no design and there won't be any design for that at all. Just, that's a safety stand. I mean, it's not a far walk from the pier to the parking
No.
lot.
Of course it isn't. That's right. But
Yeah,
I
there won't-
had no idea that wasn't a possibility.
Yeah, it's not a possibility. It's a safety thing with the railroad. See, Alan's perfectly correct.
Okay,
So that's
that's
what we're
fine.
working with the DOT, is to get a gated crosswalk that's there, only gated, and then a pedestrian crosswalk for people who get off the ship or the boat or the Clearwater and walk through the pedestrian gate and get up to the other side.
All right, so that would pretty much be at the same where the crossing is right now.
It's a little further to the south would be the pedestrian crossing.
Okay. So does that mean that we keep the old crossing and
We
create a
did.
new one?
We keep the old crossing for emergency vehicles
Uh-huh,
and for CSX to get on their tracks to do their maintenance.
right. Well, in that case, there's plenty of room for the buses, of course, being that they're not crossing the train track.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah,
using,
oh, there's plenty. If you look at the rendering, you'll see where the proposal is to have the parking lot all finished, and that's where the buses will be.
Yeah, I just saw a loop in front of the boat itself. And
Yeah,
that's where I envisioned the motor coach going. But I have the answer to that.
if you look, oh boy, where'd it go? Oh, they changed the picture. I was gonna show you, but it's right on the website.
Yeah, I'll look. I did already, but again, not knowing what I know now. That's great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, there's a rendering right there by the train tracks. You can't miss it.
No, I know. Good.
Any other questions for BJ?
I'm good.
Thank you, BJ.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Have a good meeting. I'm going for dinner.
You can stay
Al-
on.
Al, before we go any further, I'd like to ask, who is phone number 845-569 or 845-691-9390?
I have no idea.
It
Six,
keeps
nine, one,
popping
and
up. I
Highland.
don't know. It's definitely Highland, yeah.
I think it's more.
Okay.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah. I
it's
see.
Mark Reynolds.
Yeah, it's-
Mark Reynolds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
He's
I have Mark's phone number right here.
That doesn't look familiar to me
No, it
as
doesn't-
Mark's number.
Yeah, but he usually calls from his cell phone a lot of times.
Yeah. I could look home. But I don't know.
well, they're muted, whoever it is.
What's the number? 9390? Yeah, 9390 is Mark Reynolds.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's right.
On the invite, there's also a telephone in number, and that's what he must have did because he.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay,
thanks.
thank you, PJ. Any comments on the agenda, gentlemen, ladies?
Good.
Good.
Okay, so Scott brought up a point, new business. Would you like to present that to the board, Scott?
Yeah, our copier contract should be coming up by the end of the year. I got a call today from our representative, Chris Garrison. He said Kirasia is doing I want to say a give back or goodwill to businesses and towns because of the coronavirus issues. And you know that revenues can be down and businesses' revenues could be down. So what they're doing is, if you're close within 1 year of your contract, they're going to take back the machines. You don't have to pay the remaining year of the contract. For us, we pay, I think it's about $850 a month, if I'm almost right, somewhere around there. They'll take the machines back. They give you brand new machines. They start a new contract, which is another 4 or 5 years, whatever it might be. They're going to give 6 months where you don't pay, plus the first month is delayed 30. So we wouldn't have to pay almost to next year, our $850 a month. So that's a good savings to the town. What they do is, I asked them, well, are they going to backload the whole 6 months? And he says, no, what they do is they will backload 3 months to the end of the contract, but the other 3 months, they're going to give us a rebate and they would pay for the 3 months. So we're going to get 3 months free. We're going to get all new machines with the same cost, same price, same thing, $850 a month with all the copies included, with all the ink included. I told him, I don't know what you guys think, but I think it's kind of a no-brainer. We don't have to pay for 6 months. So that'll help us out a little this year in revenue. So, and we're going to get new machines. And he said the same type of machines, but just brand new.
So Scott, just remind me, one of the machines is in the supervisor's office. The other one's at the highway department.
You got police department. You got the supervisor office one, which is the upstairs town hall.
Yeah.
Then you got the courtroom, and then you got the highway department. And the only one that he said wouldn't get replaced would be the one in the assessor's office, because we just signed that contract, as you recall. He
Right.
said so it wouldn't be cost effective to them to pull that one all the way in. So it would be those 4 machines. And he would just send out the contract, and if the board is all right with it, and give Al permission to sign the contracts, and could get the ball rolling for us. So it's up to the board.
So I would ask that the board, I think this is something that we should definitely look into. They're going to send the contract. They should send it to me and to
Yep.
Christina Wilco. And Chris, you can look at it, and I think potentially I'm in favor of it. I have no problem with it. Sounds like you say, a no-brainer. We're going to save 6 months of approximately 6 months.
It'll help out our budget a little this year, as we know what we're going to be maybe 17% down on our revenues.
Yeah, we're going to go over that pretty
Sales tax,
soon.
so-
The things that keep me awake at night. Anyhow,
We're going to save about, let's say, anywhere around we'll save about $5,000 at least in this year's payment. So anything helps, right? So
you want to make that motion, Scott?
yeah, I'll make the motion that I'm going to ask Chris Garrison to send the contracts to Al and Chris to look over. And if the board is okay with it, and Al and Chris are okay with it, to have Al sign the contracts and get the ball rolling on it.
I'll second that.
I got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Scott.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So I just want to bring the board up on a few updates. During this crisis, we've been doing businesses. The town hall's been open. Great job down there. The highway department's still doing their 1 week on, 1 week off. It seems like everything is working out. So business as usual. We'll continue doing business. Our building inspectors out there. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. I hope you're staying safe out there, wearing all the proper gear and stuff.
All good.
Okay. And thank you for the updates on the with the county also. It's actually today when I put 90, it was just simultaneous. When I was putting in the 90, you were doing your thing and you said, yeah, by the numbers above. But anyhow, I was surprised by the number because it's not going down, it's going up in Marlborough. And that's on the conference call. That's why I asked, and Howard was on the conference call with the county is, if they had any idea that might put a test site in the southern tier part. And Mark Ryder he made the explanation why they couldn't do it because hopefully they needed a sponsor like a hospital, somebody like that to coordinate everything. Is that correct, Howard? Am I correct saying that?
Yes, you are.
But he said that eventually, I think the governor is giving the local pharmacies where you could go and get a test. So we'll see how that pans out. So that would be a good thing for the town of Marlborough. But moving forward, we're working on a red line lease for the landfill with Nexamp. I think that's coming along. The last thing I saw from Jeff and the attorneys from Nexamp that we're pretty close to an agreement on that. Maybe Larry and maybe Howard and Alan could tell us what happened Saturday with the change on the transfer station. I know that Larry called me up and he said everything was good, but I'm hoping he had a conversation with you all about it. Howard, have you heard anything?
I called him and spoke to him Saturday late morning, and he was happy and things were under control. So I haven't spoken to him since then.
Okay, he called me afterwards. Actually, I called him and asked him how it went. He said it went very well. They got some revenue, 400 some odd dollars instead of losing revenue. So I thought that was good. He said everybody behaved, everything went well. So I think you guys made the right choice about going back to the punch card and the whole thing. Because like Alan said in the beginning, a lot of people are home cleaning their yards, cleaning everything. And there you see the free sign going to the landfill and everybody just, bombarded them. They filled up those containers up in minutes. So I think you guys did the right thing by doing that. So thank you very much.
I wanted to ask, Colleen, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
So what should we tell? I know you said just have people call you. Is that right? That need to have punch cards?
Yeah, Danielle put it online and put a link so you can print out the forms and then people could just mail it to us like they do. And then we'll put it in the mail for them. So there's no public contact and we're still serving the public by mailing it out to them. And Larry came in today and bought a card for 200 punches in case people come there and they don't have a punch. He does that anyway, but he just got more today. And he could just
So
do it that way.
Colleen, Larry will accept the bag price. He'll take the money and just do the punch, basically.
He takes the punch. Yeah, he buys
Okay.
a punch card from us and then he'll deduct accordingly and then he comes back in. So,
Okay.
I mean, yeah, so that will work too. But I mailed out several last week to people
good.
that wanted permits and wanted punch cards as well. So
Okay.
people know about it. And like I said, Danielle put it on the website after we received your email, Howard, and she has a direct link to get the transfer station permits and punch cards.
Did I have the right phone number on there?
No, we changed the phone
Okay,
number.
I thought I
Yeah.
did. Okay.
And then, but that's fine. And then, people will call us accordingly if they're confused and, we'll walk them through it.
Great, thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks.
So Alan, as a note of reference that Larry always has done this. So
Yeah,
when people
he's
come
always-
up there, they say, I don't have a punch. He said, I got a punch for you.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
Larry's coming in and buying punches right along, but now he just bought, a larger amount. So,
yeah, we're very lucky to have Larry up there. He's
yeah, he's very thorough.
very confident and he's very thorough and he
I was glad you
makes sure
called.
everything runs right.
Yeah, I was glad he called when he recognized the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you want to say
Just,
something, Danielle?
Yes, please. So he had asked me today to post it on the website. I just wanted to get your guys' permission that he is taking cash for punches up there right now. So is that okay to put on the announcements? I'll add to the transfer station announcements that I've been putting up.
You know, I don't know if we want to advertise that we're getting cash up there.
That's why I wanted to ask.
I'm a little concerned about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's not.
I'd rather not have any, I don't know how the other board members feel, but I'd rather not have that. We always decided not to have cash there, but I would
Right.
feel more
Yeah.
comfortable if we just did the punch card.
Yeah, I think the boards previous of me actually were the ones that got rid of the cash at the
Yes.
for a reason, and I'm gonna support what the past board's decision was. I think Larry's doing an honorable thing and he know how to control it, but I don't think we should advertise that now.
Yeah, I don't think cash is a good idea up there either.
It's not a good idea, disease-wise either.
No.
Yeah.
So,
No, we're skipping the punch card, the cash,
all right.
Yeah.
strictly by punches.
Yep.
So that's on the landfill. I talked about the solar lease. Scott, I just finally got a form to fill out for the light in front of the Homvac. I'll fill that out
Oh,
tonight and mail
great.
that to Central Hudson.
All right, thanks, Al.
Not a problem.
Thank
And thank you, Jerry, for, I couldn't make it because of my age. I didn't want to meet anybody, but thank you for meeting up with Spectrum and getting all the internet and the telephone stuff at the Tomback. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
I'll just real quick, I don't know if I'm interrupting you. I was reading the planning board minutes today and then some of the agenda stuff. It just brought me to my question. Are we still actively logging this year? I mean, that's a job.
No, yeah, that's a good question. So I've been talking to Jerry Kamalis about that.
Okay.
And so we've looked at a couple of hurdles, but the one hurdle that we have to do is we do have to do an RFP, and he's gone working on that. So he's talking to different loggers, and he's talking to see who would be interested in that RFP. But I think it would be the same case, Alan, as the solar on our landfill. I think only one person would probably be interested. But we'll see. We have to do an RFP. That's the last hurdle.
Okay, I only asked that. I was just thinking of it because, you know, we are anticipating reduced revenues in obviously sales tax, mortgage tax, but that could possibly be. I mean, think about it. We have one active logging right now. We have another one asking. So if the market's hot, that could be revenue that we could find going into to help settle out what we know.
I'm right there with you. So I've been working with him last week, and he said we couldn't bypass the RFP. So legally, we do have to do the RFP, and then he was going to contact a few people and probably get back to him tomorrow. So probably at the next meeting, I'm hoping that they have the RFP ready and that we could advertise for that and move this forward. You're correct about the $40,000 in revenue. So it's a good thing.
Okay, good.
I haven't forgotten about it.
I did. Well, I didn't, but I was like, let me jog my memory here tonight.
No, I haven't forgotten about it. $40,000. Yeah. It's not like, unfortunately, we have to do everything according to the law, and that's one of the laws we have to do our RFP. So moving right along with the agenda, I have it right in front of me. We talked about the new business and the printer. So the workshop topics. This is why I invited Bill and his wife to join us on this meeting. First of all, I have concerns. I don't know what happened to Chris. Is Chris gone? Oh, there's Chris.
Here.
So I brought this up last time and about the revenue shortfall, and I get worried about it even further as we go along, about the sales tax, about the AIM, about the mortgage tax, about the revenue to the court. I talked to Mike the other day. I mean, all these things are going to be down. And I took in consideration what Alan said about, we're going to make up some of it in people not using gasoline or diesel fuel. But I feel that the revenue is going to be a shortfall, and it's going to be substantial. I don't know if you've been following with the governor about his budget and stuff like that, and with the county budget. So now I'm hearing on the county side that they're worried about the shortfall too. So there's a lot of unknowns, but I'm really concerned about that, this. So I'm thinking of different things, and I like your suggestion. So one of the things I was thinking about is your opinion on, let's say, for instance, the concerts. We have 4 concerts, and they're usually in the July or August. Is it August?
July.
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 Yeah.
July.
So there's 4 of them. I know I participate. I go to every one of them, and the kids love it and everything. But and July, having a bunch of people, I don't feel comfortable with it. I don't feel comfortable because of the safety of the public, and I just don't feel comfortable with a bunch of things. So let me just express my feelings, how I feel. And this is just my opinion. It's not facts or anything, but it's my opinion. So I'm uncomfortable about the bocce season. I'm comfortable about the concert in the parks. I don't think we'll have a Memorial Day parade, but that's not left up to me. I talked to Tom the other day. He said it's in the high 90s. May 1st, they're going to make a decision. If you figure the pause, it comes off May 15th, maybe, maybe not. I doubt very much we'll have a Memorial Day parade. The line dancing, cactus Pete. So all these things that involve groups of people and our camp. I just don't feel comfortable at this particular time. I don't know how you feel about it, but I know that some of my neighboring supervisors already have acted as far as like cutting out camp, looking at different ways of saving money, looking to lay people off. Those are things that I hope I never get to the point of doing that during being supervisor. And I don't think we need to. But the little things I think we could work on, like the concerts. The big thing is the camp. I think about this all the time, right? And then there's a senior picnic also. These are all things that we have to take in consideration and be proactive on, I think. Like we did with as soon as we found out about the who's essential, who's not essential, having the workforce cut in half and doing the thing with the highway department. We were proactive in that, and I think we did a great job doing that. So I want to be, I'm thinking out of the box with you guys. So as far as revenue goes, the camp, I think if you put up this Chris did this for me. This is a pretty heavy item. The savings would be about 32,000, but I don't think it's that much of a savings. I think the camp itself, I think because of social distancing and how people would feel coming out of this, when I talk to some people, I don't think people are going to feel comfortable coming out of this and going to a group situation. And that's my opinion. That's strictly my opinion. So that's why I'm bringing it up. Just want your input, see what you think about it. But the revenue saving is a plus too. But the whole thing about the social distancing and, the whole thing about, not spreading the disease and stuff in our seniors and stuff like that. So we really have to think about what we really want to do here and how we want to approach it. As
Hey,
opposed,
Al, real quick, I know that, we're definitely looking at doing this, and maybe because we have Mr. Pomeroy here, is the camp, the camp is in August. I know there's still gonna be some feelings, but does the camp offer, I know it's very recreational, but does it offer, the parents, the community, does it offer respite as far as like, having to send the kids to daycare, having to do this? Is that another, is it, I know it's a camp, I know what the definition of a camp is, but is it also an outlet? You know what I mean? Like, I understand you with the concerts are way too soon. I would agree to what you say on that, as far as having to delay, having to basically say we're not doing them this year. I don't believe the parade's gonna happen on Memorial Day. I think that's way too soon. But the camp, what, I understand the importance of the camp as far as for the kids, but what's the ultimate importance of the camp?
Yeah, but I think that starts in July also, Alan.
Yes, it does.
Is it in July?
but yeah, the whole thing is they start preparing pretty soon. But let me just put a caveat on that. Unfortunately, we took the opinion of a gentleman that was going to supply buses for us.
Oh, yeah.
And we've been trying to get a hold of them. So we didn't budget for that. And that's about what, Scott, we said about around 4,000 or 5,000.
It could be up to 8,000.
Yeah.
And
and the other thing is that we just found out that Tom would know, was that the county is not opening their pool this year because of budgetary reasons and because of the COVID-19.
Yeah, mine was just a question, that's all. I get what you're coming from. I get where you're coming from 100%. So I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, I understand.
My thinking, Al, is I think you're good. Think about all of this stuff. As far as the summer camp is, I don't know what the schools are going to be doing either. You hear all kinds of rumors about summer school or something like that. So that may conflict with summer camp. I don't know. I'm just mentioning.
I heard the same thing, Howard. They were talking about maybe going in, making up classes, going through summer camp now with the schools. But I think a lot of this is gonna come from what the governor decides what he's gonna do after May 15th. If he starts opening up upstate and he starts allowing a lot of things upstate to open up, it might change our opinion on what we can and can't do.
That and what the county does too. So
and what the county does.
Yeah. Well, I'm not relying on the state or the county.
Okay.
I'm thinking about the town of Marlborough and the taxpayers and the public safety.
No, I'm saying if
that's my opinion.
If he's extending another month or two, then it's a no-brainer. We don't have a choice, right?
Certainly the seniors would be a high risk.
Seniors
I can't see how they're going to have the senior picnic this year. I don't see how that could happen.
Al, going back to one of the points that you made, which is very valid, is even if they give the green light to the state, because I've read a lot about this, who's going out, who's going to the concert, who's going to the restaurant, who's going to camp, you know what I mean? So I get that. A lot of people aren't going to be comfortable, just saying, okay, it's green light, everything's good. So I understand where you're coming from. Like we could have a camp with 3 people, you know what I mean? Or 4 people, and a concert with 5, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And so that's why I'm bringing up the subject, because I don't want Kim and Bill to put all this effort into it, and then the people I talk to, I say, well, if school opens, they say immediately, I'm not sending my kid back to school. Mm-hmm. That's a few people, but that's not everybody. No. But, a lot of people.
Most people are ready to let them go. But,
well, I think they have the right to be. If you think about it, I'm not getting all hysterical about it, but I'm thinking as a supervisor and the chief financial guy that I should start worrying and putting all my burden on you guys. So, and I'm sure you think about it too. It's inevitable. We did this back in 2008, and I thought I was doing an honorable thing, but I cut all concerts out back then because of the economic situation, and I cut my salary. And I got backlash from my own party saying, what the hell are you doing? I said, well, I want to show people that, I had a job and just to be compassionate, but this is different times. I mean, it affects everything, right? It affects, the revenue, like the sales tax and blah, 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 and all those things. And Tom could, on the county side, probably Tom knows just as well as I do how probably the county is going to struggle through this. And all the unknowns of the state. So I just want to be proactive and show you guys what I'm thinking about and show you that, things that we can do to save money and put the public safety and health.
I know you said last meeting that Chris had done some projections. And I think in one of the county calls last week, they said 15 to 20% reduction in sales tax. They didn't have an estimate for mortgage tax yet, but are those numbers you used in your projection, Chris?
They were close.
It's 17% in sales tax. Yeah, I didn't get a mortgage tax percentage yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still waiting for that.
Mm-hmm.
What is,
I think the biggest,
since we have Bill and Kim here, what do they think? What is their opinion?
that's why I invited them.
Yeah, what do you guys have to say?
Right. Kim's letting me talk on this. So I'll
You can
try.
take that summary down,
Okay,
Danielle, please.
sure.
As far as
Thank you.
camp is concerned, there's a couple of, there's several different ways to look at it. Obviously, the financial issue is of course a concern. We have already done some minimal purchasing at Sam's Club. We haven't seen vouchers on that yet. Chris may or may not have received the charge amounts. But the big ordering as far as supplies is on hold until we know there's a camp. Otherwise, we'll get a couple of truckloads of boxes of stuff in here and maybe not have to use them and have to still pay for them. And let alone, oh, by the way, where are we going to store this stuff since it's not going to be in use? So we're aware of that, of course, and Kim's not going to order anything until the very last minute, so and they'll have to scramble to take care of that when the time comes. But that's not the big issue. If the governor were to say, okay, fine, people have your camps, knock yourselves out, but keep the current social distancing, that is not going to happen in the town of Marlborough summer day camp. It doesn't work that way. It's never been structured that way. We fill up that pavilion with kids, and by nature, they are a touchy-feely, get-together bunch of kids. Even if we go to July, and we've had some loosening and maybe school went back to a month before that. I agree. I think reasonable parents are going to be very, very skeptical about sending their children back to school, let alone the camp. And these kids are going to want to have seen, to see their friends they haven't seen in months. They're going to be, there's no way you're going to keep them apart. So I don't think from a social distancing point of view, unless one of you people have a template, an idea of how to perform the camp with the appropriate precautions, I don't think it can happen with us. And that's sad to say.
I don't see it, Bill, because I mean, we see it now. We can't even have adults do the 6-foot distance. And so to try to have kids.
Yeah.
By that, I don't see it ever happening.
That was one of the main concerns that a lot of people have, and even on Thomas, you could when on these conference calls with people that have camps. I mean, they're going crazy. Why the governor is not shutting them down? And but what he's saying is that the pause gives a lot of authority to the local police departments and everything, and the county sheriff and everything to maintain that. And I don't see that, like you said, Scott. I don't see that at all. especially a bunch of kids.
I don't see it. I don't see that, so.
Bill, I'd just like to say thanks for the comments, and that's why I opined a little bit, but wanted to bring it back to you too. So, I mean, you've been running the place, so.
Well, believe me, I'm always self-conscious about a nice comment like that. Kim runs the place.
Thank you.
I'm the number one volunteer and IT guy here. So,
But see, we've been working already for 4 months
Yeah.
on curriculum and planning. That all has to be done before April, so that everything else can be done after that. So then we put a hold on it. But just in case everybody said, go ahead and do it, we still had the plan. So I'm looking over here at my area, my whole half of my living room is camp, and all the stuff that's out there. It all has to be put away if it's a no. So I need to know as soon as possible, because then we have to let we have all our staff standing by. We've done all that. And a whole bunch of other things behind the scenes that people don't know what goes on has already been in play in case we needed to start. So that if it came out in the first of June, we could go ahead and do it, because we even have lesson plans and everything all done. So as soon as we know, then I can let everybody else know it's not going to happen.
Yeah, to me, it seems like it seems like it's really pushing the boundary or the line. It's like restraint in time. It's no fault of anybody's. It's this crisis is just laid on us. So, I mean, but we as a board and me as a supervisor, we have to act on it. So, and that's why I had Chris do the numbers, and that's why I invited Bill and Kim to come and talk to the board. So, like I said, I don't have a warm and fuzzy feeling about it, but it's not up to me.
Now, I hear what you're saying, and I agree 100%. I hate to say I agree 100% because my son's going to be devastated because he enjoys the camp so much himself. He's already lost his senior year. Now he's going to lose his last year at the camp. So, I mean, we just can't do it. I mean, I'm going to make a motion that, and I hate to do this, that we're going to cancel camp. We're going to cancel the concerts this year. And we're going to have to regroup next year. And, it's no fault, like you said, of anybody's. This is just what we probably have to do this year. And I'm going to make that motion, unfortunately.
Scott,
Scott, what about the senior picnic, Scott?
And I would also include, and I know that's not going to be a good topic either, I would also include the senior picnic.
They're very vulnerable people, so.
That, because they're more vulnerable than anybody else. So to have them come in there and possibly something happen, I just think for this 1 year, we're just going to have to bypass.
I agree 100% with you. I agree 100%. I think it's being proactive, and it's the right thing. It's a common sense thing to do, Scott. I would add in not only the concert, but also probably I don't know, Colleen, if anybody is really starting to rent the pavilion. I think that's an issue.
We've issued us several refunds right now.
Yeah, already.
Yeah, already.
I saw that.
For them, that it's on the abstract actually today for refunds. People are very hesitant. So I'm sure, we'll be getting more phone calls as the month progresses, but yeah. So, and I'll call Ralph if you're definitely going to cancel the senior picnic, correct?
Yeah, we're talking about also maybe Cactus Pete. That's another issue. I think it's a lot of things. I don't know what you think, Ed, on bocce. There's social discipline there is going to be.
It's all canceled. Don't worry about it. I already talked to
I think anything that's town-related, town activities that we were planning on having at the park or sponsoring, I think are things we have to cancel. I don't know about parties and stuff. Maybe if people, it's their own. I don't know. That's a hard one too. But
no,
definitely anything we're doing at the park, we're gonna have to cancel.
I think we have to follow through and be consistent with our own.
Wait, no. Do you
Say that, Tom?
What?
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
No, I was talking to Colleen just because, again, I just wanted to question her on that, who had already booked the park for, say, July and
No,
August.
July's okay, but June is all booked
We-
up. I think Danielle
We
had
had,
all-
I
So do you
booked
want us
one-
to call?
And
Yeah, but do you guys want us to cancel these parties, or you want them to be the judge of their own parties? For
No,
June?
I think we have to be consistent, right? I mean, I think we have to, it's for the welfare and protection of our constituents and people that, I think this, like Scott was saying, and Alan, I think this year we just lay off at everything and just, you know,
But so the people that actually booked the parties and paid, you want for us to call them all and say you can't have a party there now? Because
Well,
if that's
I-
the case, it has to be done like right away, because it's
think that's-
graduation parties and people might have already done their invitations and things like that.
so are you saying that you already booked the pavilion?
June is totally booked.
The
But
pavilion?
Remember this, you gotta remember, Al, this is
Graduation-
graduation season, so everybody's
graduation.
booking the park for graduation.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I would think about, if the park is not closed and they book June, you're gonna have to make a call on, if you're gonna give money back so they can't use this kitchen, they still might show up anyway because the park's not closed. And based on what the state has made a decision back in June, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, June's.
You gotta
iffy.
watch out.
I don't know, yeah.
If the park's not closed, I mean, I'm 100% for, I'm 100% by, everybody being safe, 100% by town-sponsored events. You're gonna have to watch if the park is actually open.
Well, the park could be open for people just, I mean, we haven't even, Charlie hasn't even installed the water there because the recommendation is that people, if they walk in the park, they enjoy the park, but then if they have to go to the bathroom, they actually don't use the bathroom because we can't sanitize them right away because of the COVID-19. We can't have Tom or anybody go in there, so we had the bathrooms closed. The bathrooms on top by the basketball court that we closed, that's got all our equipment for the playground in it. So that's done with. So basically, the park is just for people as an outlet to just do the social distancing and walk around, and people are doing that. And what I'm hearing from Jerry and what I'm hearing from Tom Schroeder is that people are enjoying it, walking the dog, but they're doing the social distancing. So, I mean, it's really up to us what we want to do as far as, allowing people to have parties there or not. And
Now, what are you hearing from the other supervisors from local?
well, the other supervisors are definitely in maybe not is in I don't know how to put it, financial then better financial condition as a town of Marlborough. So a lot of them are looking to throw
They're not as good
people, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of them are looking to not fill in if somebody's eligible for retirement.
Mhm.
And they're not backfilling.
Yeah.
And a lot of them already, Highland has already closed their camp and are doing other things as far as,
They closed their parks a long time ago.
Right,
Yeah.
their parks are closed.
yeah.
So then that's what you'd have to do.
Look,
is close the
yeah.
park down totally.
So the issue is with people with parties.
Well, the thing is,
And
going back to the parties, guys, I know 3 of my friends who have canceled their weddings. They were June and July weddings. So I don't know if people would go to these parties if they are
Well,
graduation party. I mean,
That's why people are canceling. They're calling because they're concerned that they're paying all this money and gonna get all this food and nobody's gonna come. So
Exactly.
all the individuals I did speak to, but they're canceling that because they want to. So if I call people up and say, you can have your party, I mean, I want to be able to say, because the park's gonna be closed to the public. We can't
just
I
have-
think the main thing that Alice brought a good point up, there's no bathrooms.
Yeah.
There ain't no bathrooms, you can't have parties, you can't have anything.
that's exactly what I'm trying to bring up, that
So you're not gonna have the bathrooms open at all during June.
I
No.
don't think we could. No, because
not at this time with this, I'm sorry, Al.
We're
So
not
they're
opening the
closing the
bathrooms at all,
park.
because if you open up the bathrooms, you gotta sanitize them like
That's
20 times a
correct.
day.
and if
Okay.
Yeah.
it's the case where
So-
somebody's sick, look what happened with our police department already. We have to call a company in. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not safe. It's just, we have to err to the side of caution right now and just be basically.
Well, Yeah, I would have no problem calling those people up and telling them because of the COVID-19 situation and
All right.
because of the, the fact that the town would have to go in and clean, there would be an added cost to them, and we don't want to burden that with that cost as much as we don't want to do this, but it's a fact of life that we would have to go, we would have to clean all the tables, we would have to clean the bathroom, we would have to clean the kitchen. It would be a nightmare.
So I'll
If
call.
anyone had a party, we would have to go in there and clean. I just don't, I like consistency.
Yeah, I think,
So what I'll do tomorrow is I'll call everybody and I'll explain the situation. And I'll tell them they're gonna have to voucher for their money back. And when we open the doors, they can come back for their deposits of the $300.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have anything booked yet for July at all, right, Danielle?
I penciled somebody in for today, but
Oh.
they didn't pay yet, I don't think.
All right, so I'll call them up then tomorrow as well. And
I
then
had
I'll call-
a few calls today. I don't remember who was who.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, and I'll call them up and then I'll call Ralph up and tell him that the board has decided, because of the coronavirus, we're not gonna be holding the senior picnic as well.
So I'm gonna amend I'll amend my motion that all park rentals,
Train station?
train station
Train
too.
station.
Yeah, close the train.
any
Yes.
park type rentals, including the camps, the bocce, are gonna be canceled for the year
about Tom Pack?
2020.
Tom back too,
Not
right?
gonna-
Tom back, same thing. Anything that's a rental for the town facilities are gonna have to be canceled for the year. That would be the motion.
Well, Scott, let's
Just to
do
be-
this. Scott, let's do this motion this way. Let's do it until further notice.
Well,
Instead
yeah,
of
until further notice.
Instead of putting the
That's good.
sunset on it. If we do that, I'll second it.
And we're
Yeah.
not closing the park, right? We're not-
No,
No, we're not closing the park to the people that are enjoying fishing and hiking.
this is just for rentals and camp. So for
Right,
like
until
Alan
further
said. until
notice
further
gives
notice.
us-
Recreation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible, it's probably not gonna happen. I'm just playing devil's advocate. If May 15th comes around and, the state opens up this part of the state and says you can have 100 people in a
Yeah,
gathering or something.
they
like
can
that.
do that. And then more than likely, they probably will do that.
Yeah.
So
at some point.
I mean, that's a state decision. We're making a town decision.
Taking the time to,
I mean, that's what the municipal law says. We
It's
can do
just that,
this.
it's just that there might be some pushback if the state says one thing and we take them. I'm just,
Well, I mean, it's May 15th. It's already, beyond us scheduling anything. I mean, and then there's the 14-day also that you have to watch out that the numbers go down and then the pause would be lifted. So I'm not confident in all those numbers and stuff like that. I'm just confident in you guys and thinking, what's the common sense way of doing this? And I think we come up where that Scott come up. I understand you're being devil advocate, but I think this is the proper common sense for the town of Marlborough to take. And I think a lot of people will appreciate it.
right. And it's until further notice, we can visit it and keep visiting it and make changes if necessary. So.
But I would say that at this point, it's not for further notice for the concerts, for the camp. That's
No, because
done deal.
they require planning and so forth.
Yeah.
And we should have the website, right, Al?
Yeah.
Did you, Eddie, when you canceled bocce, what was the sentiment of the folks that you talked to?
They totally understood. I still have a few more people to call, but the ones I got in touch with understood it.
Okay.
I mean,
I talked to bocce people. They hated it. They said, no, I said, yeah, they said that we totally understand.
Yeah.
We totally understand because they're close knit. They're talking, they're touching the balls. Excuse me, the bocce balls.
We'd have to sanitize the balls after every game.
Hey, Kim, can I ask you a question though? Because I don't think it's right, but how many hours have you put in already for the camp? I think you should get paid. I think you should get paid something for your
I
hours.
think we've talked about that, and we should do that offline. Myself, you, Bill, and so we can adjust that.
Yep.
That
I
was
agree.
brought up.
I do have a
Alright, so-
question, however, if I may. As far as the camp is concerned, have you come to a decision? It is canceled? And
Yes.
because
Yes.
because the until further notice thing, as Howie just said, is not going to work for the camp, because starting tomorrow, we are going to release all those employees. I said by
All right.
release is notify that
So let's clarify.
they got to
the
find
motion.
something else.
Maybe do
Let's
two
clarify the
separate
motion.
motions.
You have to do
Clarify
two
the motion
separate
again.
motions. For
Okay,
the
go ahead.
ones that we're actually closing down, Scott, and
We're
the ones
closing
that
down the
actually,
camp.
right,
We're closing the camp. We're closing down for the
Concert.
concerts. We're closing the senior picnic. And only further notice is for any future rentals at the park until further notice. Any future
rec-
Got your
rentals
line
And
dancing.
recreation, right?
and recreational things.
And bocce.
Yeah, but I mean, any of those things like Howard said that were planned and need a lot of planning involved are at this point canceled.
so
Unfortunately.
Scott made that motion. I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None being said. Thank you, gentlemen.
Now, we don't
Al?
have jurisdiction over the Memorial Day Parade, Al. That's,
Well, Tom Schroeder asked me, in my opinion, he says, I'm leaving it up to you. I said, you can't leave it up to me. That's not my area. You have to make a decision, you and the American Legion. He said, May 1st, we'll make a decision, but I could tell you, basically, we're about 98% sure that we're just not going to have it. And I said, I think that's a wise move.
we're having mini Memorial Day parades quite frequently with the birthday celebrations, right? So,
What if they pushed it back to Veterans Day or something?
yeah.
So,
Talk about later.
Yeah.
I mean, it's painful, but I think it's the right decision, gentlemen, and I appreciate you for doing that.
I mean,
Al,
do
can
we,
I ask
uh,
one more?
do we
Can I ask one
contribute
more
to the?
question?
Go ahead.
Sure.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you off.
That's all right. Go ahead, Bill.
One last question about camp. We have a lot of wrap up to do at this particular point, so you'll see us. And we'll be around up at the park and going through the shed, all that good stuff. Do we assume at this particular point that we are going to proceed as normal as we go into September, budget planning, that sort of thing, that we're going to work on this for next season?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
During budget time, yep.
Okay, we're certainly hopeful that we'll have a vaccine by then, so we can put all this garbage behind us.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, we will make the notifications and there we go. Kim?
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you very much.
Al, do we realize any savings on the Memorial Day parade? We don't contribute to that.
We do.
We do. Okay.
We do what it's called ceremonies.
Okay.
So with ceremonies, we do
$5,000, I think.
yeah, I forget the amount, but the cactus feet and everything. How much? Chris, did you say something? Chris?
3,200. You hear me? You hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, 3,200. We pay it in the beginning of the year.
Okay. So we paid it already?
Yeah.
Okay.
They can hold that for next year.
That's right, exactly. All right. Any other discussion, anything on you, any concerns that you have, gentlemen? I can tell you, Ed, you're doing a great job with Project Resilience. We have 225 tomorrow. Actually, Kirky's is coming in with 50. And then I think Frank and Frida's with the rest of for the 225.
Yeah, Frank's doing 125, I think, so.
Right. Kirky's doing 50. He's starting off with 50.
One question now. Jerry, did we get the masks, the cloth masks
Tomorrow.
tomorrow?
Morning, 9 a.m. is my appointment to pick them up.
And what are we going to do with them?
Well, we had a discussion today. I guess we should wait and see how many we get before you make a decision.
I thought we were getting 1,000 or 500.
Well, I don't know because nobody told me, but here's my theory.
Mm-hmm.
How many towns and police departments throughout Ulster County? If each one was going to get 1,000, that's a whole lot of cloth masks.
I don't think these are for the police though, are they?
Yeah, 1,000 for the police and 1,000 for the community.
Okay,
That's 2,000 masks for just Marlborough.
Yeah.
30 communities in Ulster County.
yeah.
That's a lot of masks. So I'm not confident of the number we're getting, but we can do whatever you want with them.
Yeah, so if part of those are for the community, how do we decide who gets them? I guess is my question. That's something we're gonna have to discuss. We'll see
I
how.
already got calls, Howard, people wanting them, could you save
I
me
am
6?
too.
Yeah, so I think we could arrange that with 1,000. I
You're
mean,
gonna have I think you should have a minimum per person though when you do it.
yeah. Well, this individual said they had 6 in their family. And you talk, if it is 1,000, then we shouldn't have a problem.
Is the burden for this gonna have to come upon Jerry's department, obviously, to hand these out then, or?
Well, Jerry's picking them up. He's sending somebody to pick them up. Maybe we could have somebody else at the town hall. We'll work on the logistics of that tomorrow, once he finds out what the number is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Good point. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe. Next meeting in May. I think it's just 2 days before the 15th, right? It's the 13th?
11th or something?
Is it 11th?
I don't know. I thought I saw that.
I think it's.
We actually, my wife has never seen Groundhog Day, so we actually watched it the other day. That's how bad it's getting.
That may be the worst movie to watch.
Hey, hey guys,
Oh my God.
hey,
Reruns.
Yes.
Reruns.
do we have to close the public hearing before, soon?
No, it still remains open because we're waiting for the referral from the county.
Okay,
So at the next meeting, we'll adopt both of the resolutions, the laws, and we'll do a resolution for the LWRP.
okay.
Put that to bed.
Okay,
Alan,
Alan,
you're up.
Yeah, it's one thing I'd like to bring up. Make a motion if we can adjourn for the evening.
I'll second that.
Second, you seconded it?
Yes, I did.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much, you all. Thank you for your patience. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, everybody.
Dave.
Have a good night.
Everybody stay safe.
Right.
Bye-bye now.
Howard, stop the live streaming first.
Oh, shoot, Jerry, I